Meeting of May 16, 2024. We go with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mary. Jenna. Here. Mary. Here. Annette. Here. Bob.
Here. Next up, we have citizen input. Are there any residents that would wish to address the council? Hello, sir. Name and address.
So I am Jeremy Ogrizovich. I live at 807 Gragan Place. So the reason I am here tonight is to kind of make the council aware that NIPSCO is currently trimming trees in the neighborhood to the south and east of our position here. And will continue until the entire Dyer substation is complete. And that's a 7-year cycle that happens, 5 to 7 year cycle. If there's any issues that arise with personnel, please give them my name. I am making myself available on behalf of NIPSCO. I am a representative of the NIPSCO Corporation as an employee of Arbor Metrics. This is what I do. There are several of my associates that I work with who have also been assigned the project, but via my approximate location, I've been authorized to say if there's something of issue, feel free to let me know. Okay? They only want the best for the community and to keep power cheap, safe, and reliable. Thank you. Yes, I do. Okay, I'll get with you after, Chief. No worries.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Name and address.
My name is Kyle Rizzo, 3204 Summit Way in the High Point Trails subdivision. Just speaking, I'm also the precinct committeeman for precinct number 3, representing the High Point Trails, High Point Prairie, Mallard Cove, and Brighton Woods. Just on behalf of our residents, I've talked to countless of our residents in all the neighborhoods, and not one of them is in favor of a chicken in their backyard or their neighbor's backyard. We do pay the highest taxes in the town of Dyer. I would say it's safe to say, as far as the home values. It's a very polarizing subject, and hopefully we're not serious about it. Some of the concerns, not just to mention the smell and the sounds and everything else that goes with that, is that we're also next to a forest preserve that we get a lot of visitors from over the border, and not residents, but we get a lot of four-legged with sharp teeth coyotes and looking for prey. A lot of our residents have dogs that like to go out and go for walks, and having chickens, even though you have a fence or you probably need a fence, that's great in certain parts of Dyer, but where we live, people don't want fences. They don't like fences. Some have them. So that's a concern. And then what do you do to protect your chickens? You might have residents that take out a gun thinking that, hey, I'm going to shoot this coyote, not knowing that they're shooting through a fence where the little kids playing ball on the other side. So those are some of the concerns, not to mention property values. When you want to sell your $750,000 to $1 million home, someone coming from over the border, do you want chickens next door? No. And people are not buying houses with chickens next door. I can assure you that, talking to folks who live over the border in Illinois, asking polling people that I know what their opinion would be. Again, also some of the concerns are, you know, this was a very emotional thing for folks, is that they would call the police and complain. And what kind of resources that train on our police? What kind of situations are going to these high emotional situations in people's homes and residents? we need our police focused on just keeping our town safe. Yeah, we're a border city, town, our police doing a fantastic job, but what are we gonna do to keep the top calls from, people complaining? So that's a concern that I have, our residents have. And, I just ask everybody that this is really a fad to me. I think it's just something like baby goat yoga. Next thing you know, we're gonna have people who want to raise baby goats and do yoga from their houses. They're very cute, but again, it's a farm animal that in a town like we have, I'm very proud resident, been here for 21 years. Very proud of it. And I'm just frankly, I'm embarrassed that we're even considering this for a town of Dyer. This is a town of people who are professionals, many walks of life. We're not a farming community. Maybe at one time we were, but there's plenty of places in unincorporated Dyer, Cedar Lake, Lowell. You go south, you can raise your chickens, but in city limits in our subdivisions that I represent, for me, and I'm not just talking about Republicans, I'm talking about Democrats. I have a lot of Democrat neighbors, a lot of friends of mine who are also all one voice on this. Please, please. And Mary, I know you represent our district. The residents in these 4 neighborhoods do not want, not one single one of them, they are in favor of this. They love chickens, love fresh eggs. But this is just gonna be a circus, and it's gonna be embarrassing for our town and our residents. And for us who are paying a lot in taxes, we do not want this. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could just address one point to the council that was raised, and one thing I would encourage everyone in the audience to look into is whether your neighborhood has restrictive covenants. Those are essentially private agreements between the property owners. Usually they're recorded by the initial developer. And a lot of times those include rules that prohibit farm animals. Those still apply whether the ordinance is enacted or not. So if you are subject to restrictive covenants, the ordinance does not overrule that, because by private agreement, your property still restricts that. So I would encourage everyone to look into in your neighborhood whether that applies to you or not.
Thank you. Any further citizen input? Name and
Rich
address.
Silva, 829 Jacobs Court. Question for Adam. Adam, have you seen these restrictive covenants that I gave to Brian Lane?
Yes.
For which neighborhood was it?
Where he lives. The
Shelley?
ones I showed you.
Okay, I did see them.
Okay, these are restricted covenants. This is in Jenna's neighborhood too. How are these enforced?
By a lawsuit. It's a contract and you enforce it like any other contract. You go to court and you ask a judge to.
Oh, if my neighbor had chickens, I would have to sue them.
I'm not providing legal advice to you, but yeah, essentially that's the remedy.
I mean, that's what these restrictive covenants say. Okay, no farm animals.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have a copy of this? This is attached to the deed of your home.
If it's attached to my deed when I purchased my property, it probably is.
Have you read them? Have you seen them?
If you wanna send me a copy.
No, can I give them to you?
Sure.
Here, this is for you. I'm your neighbor.
Yeah.
So if there's anything in there that I know you can't give legal advice, I should seek an attorney and sue my neighbor.
That's it.
Is that correct?
Yeah, if your neighbor won't voluntarily comply with the covenants, the remedy is to get a judge to order them to.
Okay. I want you to read them. Okay. Thank you.
And if you wanna reach out to me at any other time besides a meeting, feel free.
I would just like to commend the last gentleman in his statement. I moved here. I have chickens. I don't want chickens. If my neighbor has chickens, I'll just take them to court. Simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further citizen input? Name and address?
Amy Outland, 1001 Rockwell Lane.
Tina Collins Outland, 1001 Rockwell Lane.
We are here because we wanna bring to the town's discussion, making the Rockwell Community Clubhouse ADA accessible. Because right now it's not.
For the land.
And it should be. And we are not the only residents of the community that feel this way. We've lived here 5 years and we have tried to make the community clubhouse accessible for all the 5 years that we've lived here. And we've been stonewalled. And so we have circulated a petition around our neighborhood. And we have gotten a lot of signatures, almost 100 signatures of the 400 people that live in our neighborhood in support of us. So
We need help. Annette will not do anything. She is our HOA board. She's been threatening us since we moved into this community. Totally sicking a 89-year-old man on us, telling us we need to move and everything else. I can't believe she's sitting on this board. There's gotta be some justice here.
and we have just,
She-
I'm just going to say, we just sat here through a Parks and Rec presentation about spending a bunch of money on a new building, when all we want to do is modify a building that already exists.
All we want is access to the clubhouse that we pay monthly fees on. And we pay,
And we
we
can't
pay our
use it.
taxes. And we can't even be heard for 5 years at our town meetings.
One second.
We can end this discussion quickly because the town does not own that property. It's private, so the town has no jurisdiction or power to compel, and it can't compel anyone to comply with the ADA. We don't have enforcement authority for that.
So you
as
won't do
much as
anything for
we can't-
ADA.
As
Not
much as
the
we would want to help you, the town is legally unable to help you.
Excuse me,
in
Adam,
this
what
way.
did you say? You want to help me?
As much as the town may or may not want to help you, it is legally not within the town's power to do so.
But it's a federal law. The Americans with Disabilities Act is a federal
just
law.
like
There's
say
a
it-
federal infrastructure set up to deal with that. The town is not charged with enforcing federal laws.
So who is? The federal government, right? Okay. All right, so what gives Annette Ludwig the permission to grant a storage unit for for one of our homeowners?
What I would say here is, the community center, the HOA is, all of those matters are.
So you don't
between
care
adult and
nothing
it-
about what
it
goes
has-
on in
it
Rockwell
has nothing
community,
to do
right?
with Whether or not I care, it's a private entity. So I would recommend that you. take that
Oh,
up.
wow. You're passing the buck, right?
Well, I'm not passing the buck.
There's no buck
As
to pass.
Adam just said, there's nothing.
So you're not gonna support us as taxpayers? Because we live in that community.
This is an endeavor that sounds like you have with a private entity. We would know. more about it.
Wow, way to go on that. But I wouldn't have two different committees for one person sitting on. There's a conflict of interest that she's sitting on this board.
Well,
It's
you're pointing over here, Dry. I don't know if you're directing it at me or whatever.
No, I'm
I
just
think-
saying, aren't
okay.
you the town manager?
Absolutely, and as the attorney said, it's a private, I'm not allowed in your clubhouse. I mean, you wouldn't let me in your clubhouse because I'm not a member of your community, correct? So that's why it's not a town of dire matter here, and he said you can refer it to the board.
And the
Which is
town
the
doesn't
right-
have any contracts with it either. We're not leasing,
Yeah.
we're not, we have no legal relationship with this.
Wow. I can't believe that.
And it's a private board. Every member here works or has worked for a private, in the private sector at some point while sitting on this board.
Wow,
There's no conflict of interest with that.
you don't think so?
I know
Wow.
so.
You won't support a taxpayer in Dyer. Because they won't make they won't make them do a handicap accessible clubhouse.
I'm just the attorney. It's not a matter of support or not. I'm
You're a big deal here. You're the attorney.
glad you think so.
Okay, I'm glad you can smile. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. And that we'll be seeing you because this is not a dead issue. You've been fighting us for 5 years. 5 years, sicking all your people on us and threatening us.
And
We'll-
as we
we'll
said-
see you.
And as we
We're
said,
done.
we
We're
have
done.
the only
Thank you
people
very
in the
much.
Please
community
talk to
that
an
can
attorney.
benefit from this.
Do we have any further citizen input? Hello, sir.
Hi.
Name and address.
Matt Van Handel, 810 Harrison Place. So this. I am for backyard chickens. I have a problem when people say, I don't want to see this in my neighbor's backyard. You have no business what goes on in your neighbor's backyard. My neighbor doesn't have a say when I put up a fence. My neighbor doesn't say when I have 4 dogs. My neighbor doesn't say if I have 6 cats in my house. They don't have a say when I put a carport over my garage. It drives me up a wall that somebody would have the audacity to say, well, I don't want you to have that. Well, I'm sorry, but your opinion means absolutely nothing to me because you don't pay the property taxes on my property. What we're asking for, I don't, Mary, you sent me the ordinance last Thursday, I think. It didn't specify how many hens. I thought there was something in there about 5.
Yes.
Okay. We're talking about 5 hens.
No
It-
roosters.
No roosters in a town that you can have 6 dogs temporarily. I think that is wild that we have people that are like, no, you can't have 5 hens. 6 dogs? Yeah, sure, no problem. The people that are complaining about the smell, I have neighbors that do not pick up after their dogs, cut their grass, and it smells for 3-4 days. So that's kind of I don't buy that either. There's a lot of things that were said here tonight that I don't think are a big issue in the grand scheme of things when we're looking at 6 hens or 5 hens. So when somebody comes up here and says, I don't want to see that, and I don't want to see that on my neighbor's property, there's a simple solution. Turn your head and focus on your own property. You know, I appreciate Jenna, Mary Tanis, and Mary Kim, and I think Annette, you voted the last time in favor. Yeah, you voted in order, so I appreciate that. I hope you guys, if you're against it, I hope you would put your personal feelings about it aside and vote, you know, in favor, because I would be shocked if there's more than 20 coops in the entire town. I think there's like, I don't know if any of you have seen the discussions on Facebook. I know we don't govern through Facebook. I get it. But I think people have a very skewed and warped sense of how this is going to be. I think they think there's going to be like droves of rogue chickens wandering the streets of Dyer. You know, we're talking about 100 chickens total in town. So, you know, I hope you guys vote. I hope we can like vote this and like get it done with, because we're going on what, 3-4 months of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about 5 chickens. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further citizen input? Moving on, I'll be,
You got one more, she was
oh, I'm
walking up.
sorry. Oh, I'm, go ahead. Name and address.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Merrick, 230 Harvest Drive. I just moved in not too long ago, actually, and I am for the backyard chickens as well. Even if it's something that our neighborhood wouldn't necessarily qualify for, which I think it will from what I've read. I hear the concerns that the others had raised before, and I completely understand where they're coming from. But I agree with the last gentleman. I think there is a very confused idea of what it actually looks like when we actually look at raising chickens. It's a very small amount of birds. It's not, they literally don't take up much space in terms of even a backyard here in Dyer. I've used to live over the border, and I can tell you for sure, we were dealing with postage stamp style lawns, and even then it wasn't that big of an issue. So for whatever my comment is worth, you know, I'm all for it. I think it would be a fantastic investment in the community and for the town of Dyer in general. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further citizen input? Next, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the minutes of the April 18, 2024 town council meeting minutes and claims totaling $825,083.96.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, including the minutes of the April 18th, 2024 town council meeting minutes and claims totaling $825,083.96.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? The only thing that I would say on the one moment, apologize. The only thing I would say for future reference on the town council meeting minutes under reports, item number 1, town council. It looks like a narrative from that meeting without specifying who said what. I didn't speak, but I know we had 4 different speakers then. So
Do you want verbatim?
no, not verbatim. It's just I don't know who said what. I mean, we have the YouTube video, which we can go back to, but and I like more than less. I just, as I look at this, I can't remember who said what. You know, while nothing here stands out as, you know, something of note or concern, at some point in the future it may. So just a thought. No consequence on a vote, but just a thought. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Before I call, roll call, Jenna and Annette and Mary, if you guys could speak into, we could always hear Bob and Mary Tanis. Cause from the microphones, they're very loud, but they're, you know, been doing this a long time. But sometimes it's hard to hear when we have to go back through the YouTube. Okay, so I'd appreciate it. Mary Tim,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette. Aye. Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have 2 announcements. The first one being the town offices will be closed on Monday, May 27, 2024, in observance of Memorial Day. Next, we have our recurring announcement that Summerfest will be held June 6th through the 9th at Central Park with the bike parade on June 5th. I think there are some signs up there. We have some here if anyone's interested in putting one of those in their yard. We have those available for the residents. Next up, we have town council report. We'll start with Ward 2, Councilwoman Tim.
Thank you. It's so nice to see everybody out in Pheasant Hills lately. We've had a lot of activity over there, but I don't know who I would even ask, if it would be you, Jeff, or Chief. There's a lot of people who don't know how to use that crossing mechanism. I don't know if we can put something up, you know, on Facebook or something.
The idea of the pop up there is, you can push the button, it flashes yellow. It's not to prevent people to stop, but just to assure them that there are, that there's one cross. So again, it is still the responsibility of the to make sure that we just don't step out into traffic as cars come. They won't stop. It's just no alerting that there is a step in that area, you know, ready to cross and, you know.
Right, I know we have that in the center sometimes. It's been hit a few times, but
Yeah, unfortunately, just where the sign is at and.
turning vehicles,
Turning,
yeah.
it's just where the nature of that is at. And again, we have a spare just in case it does, again, it's just one of those situations where it needs to be put there just to get it. It also works the drivers if there is a crosswalk there that is highly used.
We can adjust it on social media and advertise that you're supposed to push the button, but I've seen, I pay a lot of attention to that intersection. We do have a lot of people that don't push the button. There's a big sign that says push the button. And then we have a lot of citizens that aren't familiar with the area with all the traffic that don't realize by law, you have to stop when there's somebody in the crosswalk. So we will put something on social media about that intersection itself to
appreciate that. Thank
remind
you.
people to push the button.
Fantastic, fantastic. Justin, did you find anything else about extra equipment for the skate park? I didn't get a chance to ask you.
I found a couple pieces we're kind of figuring out.
Okay, great. The shade structure is perfect. No giraffe yet, but you know, it's perfect. I appreciate it. And if you've been by the two-stage ditch, we have a lot of things blooming down in there. I'm not sure what they are yet, but there's some activity happening down there, so it's really nice. So that's all happening there. Thank you.
Before I go on to, Councilwoman Grisovich, if everyone will indulge me, I know, our Director of Operations, Brian Lane, has a plane he literally has to catch here in just a few moments. He provided a written report, but I don't know, did you wanna?
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little
Okay.
bit about it. So the Plan Commission at its last meeting approved the primary plat for the Plum Creek Christian Academy. So they're gonna be coming in this next meeting, May 22nd, to get final platting for that. They haven't submitted a site plan yet, but they wanted to get the platting out of the way and then they're gonna submit that. Meadowbrook subdivision down south, everything's been signed for that and the developer's taking it to get it recorded. Once he gets that recorded, he'll be able to come and pull building permits. So we should see some houses start to go up there, I'd say, in the next few weeks. There's a sheet attached for code enforcement and then there's that sheet for the new businesses. We had a couple new ones. I saw a couple people, Red Zone sports bar with Windy City Pizza opened, had their soft opening last night and they're supposed to be open by this weekend. So if you like wings and pizza and watch sports, it seems like a really nice place. The Storm Board, we're about to start a project in High Point Prairie subdivision along when you're going down Hart South, you can see that last pond back there. We're getting ready to change that around because we got some flooding issues back there. And we're also getting ready to start our rear yard projects for the year. We're hoping to do about 8 of them this year. Of course, these last couple of weeks, it's been so rainy. We've had, a lot of people call and definitely help them out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Councilwoman Grisovich?
A couple weeks ago, I attended, and I know a few other council members, we attended a virtual webinar with AIM for a council member budgeting seminar for some continuing education and learning about the budget process. That was educational and enjoyable to attend. Also, the Dyer Parks Department has a running club I've joined Saturday morning, 7:30 to 8:30. If anybody in the audience or listening, watching on YouTube wants to join us, just come out to Pheasant Hills, the North Pavilion, Saturday mornings. But other than that, that's all really I have. Thank you everyone for being here tonight and showing up.
Ward 4, Councilwoman Tanis?
Ward 4 is the one that is receiving all this attention from NIPSCO and clearing the lines and things. And I did call the town hall mainly because, first of all, there was an issue. There were branches and everything left in a driveway, so the person could not even leave their house. And fortunately, and thanks to the PD, they came out and they pulled all the branches away, so at least the person could get out of their driveway. There's been a number of issues there that people are not happy. I mean, yes, it is noisy and yes, it is good that they're doing that because they're clearing the lines. But again, it's caused some real problems in our neighborhood. The other thing is, Pat Rosenwinkel, who is our Dyer and Bloom president, and I conducted a workshop for AIM on volunteerism. And it was really well run. I mean, I was really happy with the way that it turned out. And thank you to Frank because he did all the technical issues for it. But I wanted to thank AIM because they really have a wide variety of programs that all of us can benefit from. And that one in particular was great because they chose Dyer because we have such a great organizational group with Dyer and Bloom. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ludwig?
Not too much. I'm excited about the Summerfest starting in a couple weeks. And I know there's been a lot. I was in Rob's and there's been so many people going back and forth with the traffic that's going on 30. And they were asking the lady at the desk, which other way could I go through here and go through? So they were going through our subdivision. We had 3 mailboxes that were knocked down with young kids, recent, other people that trying to get out and avoid 30. So thanks to you, I mean, the patrolling has been, it's been up and it's been good. What else is there? There's been a lot of sites of coyotes right by our area. I don't know if they're what they're looking for. But other than that, and can't wait till the fire truck comes. 3 years. All right, but that's it, nothing else more. Thank you.
Clerk treasurer?
Yep, our office is always busy, just finishing up payroll, implementing all the wellness that we needed to for the employees, going through all the changes with our payroll sheets and hiring sheets. Again, there's been changes with the federal, so we're updating and we'll be sending them out to the departments so that they're up to date. That's it.
Thank you. Next up, town manager.
Several road construction updates, but I will leave those for Neil and the road project updates. But I will talk about the NDOT Route 31 that will not be in Neil's report. It's a very, very high profile with the traffic flow through town. So we've gotten a lot of focus on construction and NDOT and what dates are coming. They are on schedule. They are doing a great job at the concrete replacement. It is a large task to do the work that they're doing. I don't think it's ever convenient for road construction, especially on a thoroughfare like that. But Superior Construction has stayed on schedule that they presented. They're doing a great job with the quality of replacements. They're doing the catch basins. They're doing additional curb work, ADA ramps, just the quality work that they're adding to the town. When it's all said and done and cleaned up is going to be a great improvement there. They will be wrapping up the patching is that we're visibly seeing right now within the next 7 days. They're hoping by May 28th to be shifted over to the bridge replacement in the 1500 block of Route 30, which is located by Patty's Gymnastics just west of St. John Road. When they shift over to that construction, it'll be from May 28th till as early as September, as late as November. They're completely replacing that bridge. So they will take apart one half of the bridge while leaving the other half open. One lane each way will be open through the project. When they're done with the south side, they'll go to the north side, do the exact same thing. Our lane restrictions will be from Castlewood Drive to into Cherville, just past Allen Landscape area. It'll be narrowed down to the 1 lane restrictions at that point. Then after Castlewood Drive, it opens back up in our town. There is no need for detour routes because the traffic will be open the entire time, but we are aware that people will try to take alternative routes to beat any kind of backups. Police department is aware of it. We'll probably put digital sign on Castlewood Drive saying residential neighborhood, local traffic only, just to help out. Once that project is complete, then they will move over and do the bridge outside the town hall here. And it won't be a full replacement. It's going to be a resurfacing project right outside of town hall. We have a lot of construction for the rest of the year on Route 30. We're going to do our best we can to get messages out to the public, social media, text messages. This project is so long, we can actually use the newsletter to notify residents because it's going to be here a while. I do think the end result is going to be something that we're all happy with. So we can just bear with the inconvenience. We also talked about the job description project earlier. No need to go any farther on that. Other than that, it is a collaborative effort with all the departments. And again, the end result is going to be beneficial for the workforce here for generations. Central Park Pavilion, I sent you guys some pictures. The ADA ramps are done out there. That is a tremendous asset to the park. The pictures do not do it justice. I encourage you, if you haven't, to go out there and take a walk around. It is definitely a gem for us here in the town of Dyer. And we will look to hold some evening events out there that won't conflict with Justin's schedule. But I do envision a town-wide acoustic type venue out there, or something that we can get some more attention out there, that if you're not a ball player, we'll get you out to the park as well. So other than that, Neil will hit on Harrison, Central Park, and I'm sure a little bit of Gettler. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, town attorney.
Just one important update. I have been working the past 2 or 3 weeks with Dave and Frank to revise the first 4 chapters of the town code. with the goal of updating things, streamlining them, and removing a lot of provisions that just restate what's already in state law. The goal is to really streamline the town code and make it readable and less cumbersome for the average citizen. That's all I have.
Thank you. Department heads, we'll start with Public Works.
Right now, crews are painting curbs in front of all the hydrants in town. They've started in High Point Prairie and they're working their way north. And once they're completed with all that, they will go back and start painting all the crosswalks. Starting that same subdivision and working through the entire town. The data for the water service line inventory is continuing to be collected for the customer-owned portion. An insert was included in the last monthly bill, utility bill. So again, residents can use the QR code on that insert to access the town's website and fill out the survey online. Or if they choose to, they could fill it out, mail it back, or they can even call us and give the information. So there's multiple ways for that information to get back to us. Again, because it is a requirement by the EPA to be completed by mid-October. So again, we ask residents to have it all completed by the end of July. So again, that way you can, make that sure that data is into the system and then we're in compliance. We're currently working with the park department to prepare for this year's Summerfest. The road that's leading to the parking area on the south side is nearly complete. So we're just kind of doing some final adjustments and such like that out there. And we've got all the schedules ready for our employees to make sure we have it up covered for all the events that are coming up there. And then lastly, some street section employees recently resigned, 2 of them. So we're in the process of looking for some replacements. So the applications are being reviewed right now and hopefully we'll have some interviews next week. And then we'll get some replacements, hopefully June or July. So that's really what we're doing.
Thank you. Parks.
For our projects, Sandy Ridge Park improvement, at the last park board meeting, the board approved a motion to advertise for bids not to exceed the date of June 13th. Robinson Engineering is doing the final design work before we go out for bid. I have not received the final design yet, so I'm still waiting on that from them. Pickleball courts, same thing. The park board approved a motion to advertise for bids no later than June 13th, and still waiting on the final design work from Robinson. The pickleball though will have 2 alternates. One alternate A will be at Hearthstone Park, alternate B will be Everly Park. And that way, if there is a budgetary restrictions, we will be prepared this time instead of last year where we had to rebid it because the scope changed so dramatically. Going to Heritage Estates Park, the park board approved a motion directly Robinson Engineering to draft the design proposal. I received that design contract. I'm in the process of scheduling a special meeting with the park board for sometime next week. The design contract is for not to exceed $23,675. And we'll get that approved as soon as possible so they can get moving on that because that equipment will be here in, I believe, July or August. Crack sealing was completed at the skate park at the end of April. It looks really good, I think. April 25th, I believe, was the date. Then for our activities, the Dyertown garage sale is going to be this Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. This year we've added a children's music concert and a food truck to the event. Additionally, it is important to note that May 18th is National Kids to Parks Day. That was a proclamation read at the park board meeting 2 weeks ago to that effect. And also Dyer and Bloom will be in the North Pavilion this year, passing out I believe, potted plants and a project for the kids. And excited about that. Our first community market begins June 4th. I know you're upset about that.
No.
So that's from 4 to 8 p.m. It's going to be a good experience for everyone. We trimmed down our markets this year. We really wanted to get it inside before kids go back to school, because the attendance seems to drop off as soon as school starts back up. So we're trying to, we still have, I think we have 5 of them this year because we had a conflict with National Night Out. We'll be hosting the 13th annual bike parade. As was mentioned earlier, the Wednesday before the Summerfest, June 5th, and that will be at 6:30 p.m. is kind of the kickoff traditionally for the Summerfest. And then Summerfest is scheduled to commence Thursday, June 6th, 2024. And that will start at 5 p.m. that day. And we will be blasting all our promotional items, and signs will be going up here soon, and digital signs a couple weeks before. And we'll really get rolling promoting that. Lastly, the splash pad grand opening is set for Friday, May 24th at 10 a.m. And there'll be signage, there'll be parking designation signs will be up. The rules and regulation signage will be up, and really excited for this season to get kicked off. It's a nice amenity for the residents, and I'm excited for them to have the opportunity to enjoy it. And I can answer any questions.
The garage sale, you said there's gonna be a truck.
A food truck,
Is
yes.
it just one or is it?
I believe it's just one. This is the first time in the past we've just let the residents come out there. They essentially rent the space. I think it's $20 a space. And we didn't provide any food or anything like that. So we're trying something a little different with her name is Miss Caitlin. She does our kids music program. And her business partner are gonna put on a little concert for the kids, and it should be pretty neat.
Thank you. Chief Martin?
Sir, piggybacking off of the Summerfest, just on our end, Summerfest emergency operation plans in place, so we have everything lined up schedule-wise too for any of our needs on our end, so hopefully our guys just get to sit in lawn chairs the whole time and enjoy the crowds. Continued all of our community risk reduction programs. Intended an Autism Awareness Month last month at Patty's All-American. Also a touch truck at Faith Church. We attended Dyer Little League opening day. Our staff logged 36 hours of instruction at the Tri-Town Safety Village in April. We reviewed and updated our mission, vision, core value, ethos, and training statements. It's a biannual endeavor on our part. So we feel that if we don't update those every now and then and review them, we're standing still. So one more thing to move us forward. Myself and firefighter Emily Morrison, we finished our public fire life safety educator 1-2 course. That was a couple months long. We now have 11 certified in this discipline in the agency. All the flooring upgrades that occurred at Station 18 are all finished, and everything looks fantastic. April 26th, we hosted a large tabletop exercise with the Canadian National Railway along with all of our department heads. It was beyond beneficial, just game planning and prepping for an event that we hope never occurs in this town, but we have to be prepared for if it does. So another good part of our emergency operations plan and the things that we do yearly on a larger scale to make sure that we prepare for the events that we hope we never see. We onboarded 3 more part-timers, part-time firefighter EMTs, Alex Bell, who's a firefighter EMT with the Michigan City Fire Department, Lindsay Kuzbell, who is a firefighter paramedic with St. John Fire, and Eric Noto, who is a firefighter paramedic with the Chicago Fire Department. We concluded our orientation, written testing, and oral interviews for our career firefighter EMT hiring process, and that list should be certified next Tuesday at the Dyer Safety Board meeting. That's it for you.
I have a question. I don't want to just single you out though. You brought up the tabletop thing and that's what brought it to my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for you, Dave. I'm not really sure. If we could have, it's gonna show my age here, but if we could have the department heads send out an email to all the elected officials when there's an event so that we can attend. I don't hunt down things on Facebook. I know people post things on Facebook, and there's some people who really enjoy being on Facebook all the time. I am not one of those. So if we get an invitation like we did to like the Red Zone and we can attend and then tell everybody about it. But it was brought to my attention by a resident that you're having another one in the fall or something, they said, because they asked me about this one and I said, I'm so sorry. He talked about it, but I didn't know that we were invited or if we were invited. So if we could be invited to that, I would really like it, but not just you, but anybody, any
Absolutely.
department head who has something. If you could just shoot an email to all the elected officials and say, hey, having this event, you can come, here's the times.
More than happy to.
I would so be grateful.
And if I can answer that as well, we are gonna work better in communicating our functions at our individual departments. The council needs to be aware of everything that happens, open houses, anything. You are
Yeah, I
invited, obviously
agree.
you're invited to all of them. Some of the tabletop exercises are not geared towards elected officials being present, and not that you're not welcome there, but some of the tabletop exercises need to be performed by lower level management without any influences or anybody. So that, I
No, get
understand that, no.
But I guess apparently there was something in the newspaper. That's what this person brought to my attention.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, let me check on that. You know, yeah, I felt
Yeah.
really silly.
No, I think we'll work more on communicating the other stuff, but again, don't feel offended on some of the trainings that are.
And I just wanted to communicate because I thought maybe we just need to do something a little different, but thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Chief Alcott?
For the month of April, we had 584 incidents, 48 arrests, 25 accidents, 266 citations, 613 warnings. As stated earlier in the year, we do our out-of-state plates. Of course, all of our neighbors call us. We posted 154 warnings in the last 2 months, which takes 60 days to go through before we can move forward with a citation to go back to those same cars to see if they complied with the ordinance, and if they did not, they will be cited. Just a notification for everybody, along with the town manager's traffic report. As you saw, US 30, the NDOT has turned around and they're going to lower the traffic speed because one portion of the speed in our town is 45 miles an hour. They're not going to down to 35 for the traffic, and I see everybody going, well, we're doing 3 miles an hour. That's on a single lane. You still have the double lane going the other way that's wide open right now going eastbound, and you're still in a construction zone. So they felt that they would lower the speed, and that is for the safety of the employees of the construction company, along with our residents crossing the streets or driving, because when everybody gets angry and they get out in that open, they just take off. We are doing a lot of traffic enforcement with that. As you know, living here on the border during summertime, we get an extra flow of traffic on Fridays and Saturdays for everybody going to their weekend homes from the other side from Illinois. We get a lot of traffic. Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have a lot of traffic again. So please be patient and understand that it's going to be some inconvenience going on throughout the town. We will put that social media thing out about the crosswalk. As you know, it's police week. Evidently, there was some miscommunication with the FOP notifying you guys for our memorial. It turned out it was the first one that was large since Dave took over because we had a lot of changeover in the FOP. The FOP runs it, and they did a really nice job at what they did. And then they had a barbecue afterwards, but we will notify you, make sure that those events are put on our calendars. Other than that, traffic flow will be in every neighborhood right now. I can apologize for it, can't do anything about it. But we are trying to monitor as much as possible. You see extra traffic. There have been accidents, but that goes with all rush hours. If anybody has any questions, I'm available.
And I see you're out there.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You can't be everywhere.
Yeah, we're trying.
Chief, how are the parking lots? How is it like going through the Jewel? Are they, I know.
It depends. Well, right now, because the traffic is
Yeah.
going, the traffic is actually, nobody wants to go through Jewel Park right now because the westbound traffic is there. Now, there was complaints about people going through when they cut off the intersections for the one day, the overnight. It's always going to be that way. It's people, and I love when I see people pull in there and then they have to turn around and go back out the same way because it's blocked. So it's always somebody seeking a different way out. It's frustration, it's traffic citation, but we all grew up here. We all live here. It's construction season. It's part of, it's like, Neil says, there's two, it's a winter in construction.
Correct.
Yeah, so we're in our construction season, and as the town manager said, I believe everything they're doing is going to improve our quality of life on Route 30. And no, I can't make traffic get through town faster afterwards, so.
Yeah, just one quick question. The painted line on the street in front of the public safety building, it goes blue to red. Is that just for increased visibility? Is that
It's always to remind you that you're in front of a public safety building, like the lights that are put there at any time that you're going to have to yield through the intersection. It's normally a warning to say, hey, this, at any time somebody could come out of there with lights on. Now, the way the Public Works has done a great job of setting it up for the fire department, the police department, we have every warning that there's a possibility of traffic being shut down. So it's for yielding the intersection in front of a firehouse or police station. And It's probably, we're at the top of all markings I've seen now that they just did the red and blue line, they did the crosswalk, that's a safety zone. Just a reminder, like when you see a crosswalk, you see, people are aware of it when they see it, hopefully.
And the major markings for that area will be done in June. So
Yes, the new ones.
The yellow will be freshened up.
Oh, okay.
When you're entering into, even by the town hall, it's got like hash marks across the whole.
That's a
street.
crosswalk there,
Okay.
so that's that's to keep people from parking or stopping there because it's in a street.
Right, but now that we have all this construction, we're just not even thinking of doing that there or?
No, they're there, but it's again, it's to tell them it's there. It's not like if they stop there, we can give them a ticket for being in the middle of that. It's a reminder that there's a street there. We're doing everything we can. The public is doing everything they can to help us with traffic flow by saying, don't, it's a line with you stop at the white line when you're at the
Right,
stop
I
sign or
was just
stoplight.
wondering why we didn't have that in front of the fire. I saw the fire truck try to pull out one day because there's so many cars just parked there and they had to make a really tight turn to stay in the oncoming lane.
We're all
It's right
dealing
now.
with coming out of the police and fire station right now because the traffic is backed up
Yeah,
at rush hour.
yay.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. It's gonna be really nice when it's done.
Really, I can't wait for that other road to go in because it's hard to get out of the town
Yeah,
hall.
if we do the John
This one,
Burge
it's like,
lane,
it's.
that'll be
just
nice.
wait to get in an accident.
Just a little plug.
Neil.
Happy guy.
Like to thank Justin for making us all look like chumps today, dressing up so nicely. Thank you. Yeah. Except for maybe Adam. As Dave mentioned, we have the road projects update, 2023-2 CCMG project, which is Harrison from 213 to Edmond. Utility work is proceeding on that project. We do have a proposal for construction engineering later in the council meeting. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions on that as you have them. Gettler and Steck, thanks to Deb and Dave for getting the signature from Mary and the attestment that has been forwarded to the contractor, Milestone. We have the bonds and the insurance are complete for that project. They're in place. And we are looking to schedule a pre-construction meeting in the next 2 to 3 weeks with town staff. I'll work through Dave and Frank and Jeff on their schedule availability for that. And then once we determine what that schedule is to start, we can send that out and get with Jessica to make sure that's on the town website as well. The Central Park Boulevard and Calumet Avenue construction project is underway. We've had challenges with NIPSCO on the gas relocation and the energizing of the signal at that intersection. We are doing our best, and I know the town staff and Reith Riley and Hawk, who's doing the signal, they've done everything they can. We are unfortunately at the mercy of the schedule of not only NIPSCO, but their subcontractors that do that work. But we do have a plan in place that we work through with Dave and Frank of there will be 2 lanes in each direction for the fest. And our hope is that if they follow through on the scheduling of the transformer installation and the service line for the meter for that signalization, that will be available for the meeting, or I'm sorry, for the fest. And then we'll meet with the police and fire for that, so they have access to control that intersection with the override button. But unfortunately, there's some things that are outside our control, but we're doing daily checkups with NIPSCO and Reith Riley and Hawk for that, and we'll keep Dave up to date on that, and he can keep you guys all informed. But yeah, the 6th will be here before we know it, to be sure. The 2024-1 application for the resurfacing projects, we had a pre-bid meeting on that on May 10th. We have a bid opening at the on June 7th, and that will be recommended for award at the June council meeting. That's I believe 16 resurfacing projects, and we were awarded just over $1 million for that project. The 2024 application, which is going to be for the reconstruction of 212th Place from Harrison to Madison, including utility work, that will be prepared and submitted in coordination with town staff and Brian, if he makes it back from vacation, to get the entirety of our $1.5 million application for this construction calendar year. That'll be a project that'll be construction in 2025, but we'll be applying for that $500,000 of grant money this year. I believe July 31st is the deadline for that application. Any questions? Thank you so much.
Next up, we have ordinances and resolutions. There a motion for ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-05, adopting provisions governing keeping of chickens.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second, any discussion?
Yes, someone forwarded information about lowering property values with chickens. I have yet to find anything that proves that, and I just wanted to make sure that people were aware. If you have proof of that, let us know, but there was just a lot of words, but there was no proof of it, and I like to see the receipts, so.
I think nobody moves to Dyer wanting chickens. We haven't allowed chickens for 4 years. I think it's also a matter that is beyond chickens. When we talk about potential nuisances that we have to govern, we govern the height of every blade of grass on your property. So if we're deciding that more and more things are not worth regulating, I think this would be a good opportunity for residents to, find other ordinances and restrictions that we have to upend those. If you want to start running a business changing oil out of your garage, it is your property, you are providing for your family, why not? If you want to play music very loud, music is a time-honored tradition that goes back to biblical times. Let's repeal the noise ordinance. There is why it may sound goofy to say that chickens is a slippery slope. There was wisdom 40 years ago when they passed this ordinance to say, look, we are not a farm community. This is the vision and the outlook that we have for Dyer. It's held for 40 years and it has been what makes Dyer an amazing community. Will there only be a dozen coops? I would imagine the first year or so, there may be 2 or 3 dozen. Then as people find that it's probably not as romanticized and more work, then those may go down. But I don't see the wisdom in overturning this now, and I would continue to work to overturn it should it pass.
President Starkey, I appreciate your perspective on this, but I do believe that we put some things in place to protect both sides, those who don't care for chickens, so there's parameters, and those who do want chickens, so that there are restrictions that they can stay within that are very simple for the 5 hens. Having that best practices sheet, working with the fire chief, making sure that that's well as far as, and the chicken keeping community. We want to make sure that everybody can have the best experience, and I think we've done our due diligence to make that happen. So I hope everyone knows we've taken our time to do this. Thank you.
And I'll just add, I went back and looked at the meeting minutes of when the ordinance was passed, prohibiting chickens, and there's really no comment, reason given for why it was passed. So that's, to me, sort of tells me that that was just sort of an arbitrary decision back then. And, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how many people actually, submit a permit and pass it and have chickens. And
well, the residents came to us very prepared. We didn't go looking for chickens. They came to us and asked, so we appreciate that.
And I'll continue being receptive to residents as they come forward. We have 5 dogs. If there are people who have an issue with 5 dogs, I'd be interested to hear stories that they have with their neighbors.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Nay.
Bob?
Nay.
Passes first reading, it goes for second reading at the next regular meeting.
Right. Next up, I'll be seeking motion for ordinance 2024-06, an amendment to the salary ordinance.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-06 and ordinance amending ordinance 2024-01, establishing the salaries, wages, and compensation for the town of Dyer, Lake County, Indiana for the year 2024.
A second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll seek a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2024-06 on second reading.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2024-06 on the second reading.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion for resolution 2024-10, transfer resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-10 for the transfer resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be looking for a motion to table resolution 2024-11, the interlocal agreement between Dyer and Cherville for the Pensy Trail.
I'll make a motion to table resolution 2024-11, the interlocal agreement between the Dyer and Cherville Pensy Trail.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
A motion to table means it has to be brought up at the next regular meeting or the motion dies, just FYI.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass resolution 2024-12, Police Department surplus property.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2024-12, Police Department surplus property.
I second that motion.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Thank you. Next up, under old business, we have the fire truck purchase. We've again talked about this several times going back to the end of last year. We saw the presentation, so I would entertain a motion to direct town staff to engage a motion to direct town staff to begin the purchase process for the presented quid proposal.
I'll make a motion to direct the town staff to begin the process of the Quint fire truck purchase proposal.
I'll second that motion.
I would just ask that we amend the motion and second to include through Sourcewell.
Oh, yes. I amend my second to Sourcewell.
And I amend my motion to do it through Sourcewell.
So we have amended motions and seconds. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
I have a question, Adam.
Mhm.
Does the motions have to be in order or can the second go in front of the?
As long as
first?
both of them agree to the
Okay,
amendment.
just wanted to
it's fine.
clarify. Thank you. Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next, we have new business. Item number 1, South Lake County Community Services.
Yes, in your packet, you have a request for services donation from South Lake County Services. I offered the invite to attend to speak here. There was a prior conflict with the scheduling, so we included the information that would have normally been presented by our representative You see there's rides that are spelt out throughout the town, how many, how frequent. It's a service that we rely on heavily for some of our seniors to get around. The annual donation request for the transportation is $5,000. We do budget that amount through our seated funds, and we did pay 5,000 last year. You're looking for support for the.
I would like to make some comments on Lake County Community Services, which supports this. Lake County Community Services not only helps with the elderly community, it also helps out with a lot of disabled people that we service throughout all of Lake County, not just South Lake County. But it's an important, valuable tool that we have here in Dyer, and particularly because we have two of the sites for meals for seniors. One of them would be the Township Center, and they do take people there. I know we have our own buses, but they also take them from Lake County Community Services. It is a really important project to keep people able to make doctor's appointments and sometimes the kids have to have travel to school. I'll go along with the 5,000 this year, but I would really like to look at it a little differently next year and maybe increase that. I know Blossom has only asked for the 5,000, but I think we need to take a closer look. We lost several vehicles this year, and two of them sat over here at Coparts. And I am also a NERC representative. I went to the head of NERC and said, we need to have the information for us we need the information so that we can have the insurance money to replace those vehicles. They had it, they gave it to us, but yet we need to replace a lot of vehicles. With the cost of gas, with the increased cost of some of the drivers that we have, I think it's important that we realize that every time you see Lake County Community Services buses, that you do a variety of help situations for all of us. So I would like to, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the $5,000, but I would like to really consider that we need to increase that for next year.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I would agree with everything that you said, Councilwoman Tanis. It is it's a fantastic service. I was surprised to see 5,000 again, knowing that we did that last year and knowing how much everything has increased. And perhaps this is something that, we don't even need to wait till next year to revisit if we find they need extra funding, depending on where our funds are.
I'll make a motion to increase it to.
We have a motion. Do we have a second for that?
Yeah, Mary,
We have a motion.
have a second, but
If
they'd have
you
to amend.
amend your-
Can I amend mine?
Okay, I would like to amend my motion to increase it to $7,500. And just to let everybody know, I've served on that board for the last 24 years. We also have Mike Seljan serves on that board as well. So we have two representatives from Dyer. We are really lucky to have the two representatives from Dyer because that's a lot of the communities do.
We need an.
I'll amend my second to that 7,500 as well.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye,
Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
thank you.
Next, we have our engineering proposal from Nice Engineering for the Harrison Avenue construction project. I'll be looking for a motion to approve. Approve this amount not to exceed $159,200.
Make a motion to approve the Harrison Avenue construction engineering proposal not to exceed $159,000.
I'll second.
$159,200.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
Let me amend that, $159,200.
Be the second to agree.
I'll sec, I agree.
A motion, a second, any discussion? This is how we get Neil to stay at our meetings longer, I guess. Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Ned,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Under any and all, we had the discussion in the study session, about the Hart Street property. I think there's some great opportunity to be had there, but we also have some questions hanging over of what that is. So, I would think if I could have a motion to direct the park director and town manager, town staff to obtain appraisals and inspections on the Hart Street property, so we know what we're looking at.
I'll make a motion to, to direct the, town staff to approve the appraisals of that building on Hart Street.
I'll second that.
And just so we're clear for the record, you are talking about
Need the address,
the 2728.
2728 Hart Street.
Do we need to add the inspections to the?
Well, we need to look at how we're gonna
That was in-
finance it too.
It wasn't,
was in
yeah.
my-
Okay, all right.
I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Ned,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yes, where are we at with the safety village? Are we? No one's ever said anything in a couple of years. Are we donating there anymore?
The end of last year, November, December, I don't remember when, we made we passed a motion to not fund the safety village until such time as we received the audits that we've been asking for several years. We have a board meeting coming up the end of May, perhaps that will be fruitful and Mike can bring something back to the council on the June
Because
meeting,
we
but
would have 22 and then 23 to pay for, even though we did do some POs and stuff.
so, yeah, so as of now, that's where we're at.
Okay.
Anything else? A motion to adjourn,
So moved.
second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
President Starkey, can we have 5 minutes, please?
Yes.
We can dispense with the pledge of allegiance and the roll call. We're here. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented for the minutes of the April 18th, 2024 redevelopment commission meeting. And claims totaling $439,056.17.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have the downtown district, John Burge Lane and Hart Street. Mr. Town
Yeah,
Manager?
yes, we have no documents to submit for you. We've had an update meeting as of this week. We're hoping for some concept drawings for you guys to look at and give the thumbs up. This will also be in conjunction with item number 3 under new business, where Nice Engineering will be teaming up with topography and surveys that will go along with this project. Neil can add anything at that point, or we can address it now. It's up to you. But we're hoping for some concept drawings with the feedback that we've provided for what we look like going into the park area.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that we all see these as soon as we get them so that we have some clear idea of what we're looking at, instead of just waiting until there's a meeting and looking at them again. So you've been really good about that. So I hope that's continued so that we can keep updated about what's going on. Park Department joint projects. Listen.
So last meeting, I presented some items to you. Unfortunately, I've made some progress on them, not all of them. The bleachers I do have in. Me and the town manager took a ride out to Munster facilities and we mimicked one of their bleacher sets. So we have bleachers for one field that we have ordered. It's either gonna come from either park bond funds or it would come from RDC funds. The total for that was $18,442. That is 2 sets of bleachers. They're approximately 30 feet by 10 feet deep. They have guardrails going in the middle and a back to it at the end. And then right now I have Tech Electric is coming out to give us an appraise or a quote on installing some lighting for the flagpole. We're gonna have 4 pedestals that will pour concrete in a sonotube, and we would run wiring up through the concrete and mount 4 spotlights. So I don't have a cost on that as of yet, but I'm predicting it would be less than $10,000.
Okay, that won't be done before Summerfest.
No,
obviously.
I'm gonna try and get it done before then, but if there's not a meeting before then, is I guess the question what you guys would be comfortable with.
Okay, so we don't have any
No.
financial,
They're coming out there next week.
I was asking.
Yeah, on the park lights, if we can also add that we are still shooting for the fest. This is something that we're getting the invoice or at least an estimate from this company. If it becomes something where that the value is better for us to have Jeff's crew do it, then we'll try to get that done. So there is still a possibility by the fest. I think the bleacher request is what we kind of were highlighting last meeting. We know there's 4 fields out there, so we really need to provide 4 sets of bleachers. But when we work with the park board, Andy Power and I did some research on the facilities. Like Justin said, we went out and looked. This one, we'd like to get one started so that we can see if that's the set we're looking for. Provides a rail up the middle for people that need assistance. It provides a fence on the left and right and the back, so there's safety. No little kids falling off the back. These are also some that you can add shades to it, foul ball protectors. It's something we can build on. So I think at very least, I think Justin's asking for assistance from RDC on the bleachers for this one set of fields so we can relieve the park bond a little bit. And that was, what was that number?
18,442.
18,442.
We have a motion to approve $18,442 for bleachers for the park.
So moved.
A second,
We'll second that.
any discussion? Roll call. Mary Kay?
Aye.
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 Aye. Next, we have the property acquisition. We've talked about this before, and we're looking at a real estate purchase for $168,000 to purchase the property at 2145 Hart Street. Seems like Hart Street is very popular this evening with two items on it. My question is, why is there parcel 1 and parcel 2?
Because these parcels, when the town was originally platted, were extremely small. So if you look at the picture in front of you,
Okay.
this house straddles both.
I see.
Well, there's actually 3 parcels. Parcel 1 is lot 1 and 32. And then the last parcel is this part that extends to
Yeah.
the red line in the back.
That
Which-
could be
which-
outhouse.
Well, that's what was deeded to the current owner, so
Yes.
we're acquiring everything they have.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
And then the normal procedure for this would be us to send out a property acquisition offer under statute. Which would include the average of results of our appraisals. And then the buyer can accept it or reject it. Or we can negotiate, but it's my understanding that the price is already agreed upon. So we're just coming to them straightforward with a property purchase agreement.
Okay, so I need a motion for a property purchase agreement for 168,000 to Mike Koback.
In the form of the draft you have before you.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Aye.
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 Thank you. In addition to the concepts that we will be getting, Mary, well noted that you want to see drawings as soon as we get them. I think we're excited enough that we want to forward them to you as soon as we get them as well. This property was mentioned to our group that we are close into closing. So in his initial drawings that he'll be sending you is this house is removed from the drawing area and there's a walkway from Hart Street to the park in this
Good.
plot. So it's going to be a fresh drawing. Hopefully, we can get it forwarded to you within a week or so here. That'll show what it looks like currently. So,
Nice, thank you.
thank you.
Next, we have resolution 2024-01, determining the need to capture assessed valuation. We need a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Last but not least, Nice Engineering proposal for John Burge topographic survey for the site conditions and utility location. All yours, Neil.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up with what David mentioned earlier. We met with Tagi, with Frank and Dave and staff in April. And while there's not necessarily something from the Arch Group in front of you in terms of exactly what the proposed improvements and the beautification and the extension of John Burge would be, we do realize that to maintain progress, if at least we take a measured approach of let's survey the entire area for not only utilities, but rights of way, property corners, that would include these additional 3 parcels as part of lots 31, 32, and the back area. Then as Tagi presents something to you and you guys approve it, massage it, change it, at least we have the basis of that survey completed. And most of this would supplement what was done on the town hall survey back in 2010, and then the reconstruction of Schulte back in 2014. And then we'll pick up from the east side of Getler, which we just completed survey on yet this
Right.
year. So we're kind of reusing a lot of data and then filling in the blanks with the additional that would be the extension of John Burge coming around the back of the barn over here. Any questions?
And the importance of Nice working with Arch will determine, like we had mentioned, we'd like to save the building services building as we round through over there. We also talked about how far do we need to get towards State Farm or what do we need over there? So that's why these two groups working together is important. And so you can see that final vision there.
Also, so we keep up better communications. I would like to see those maps as soon as you get them. Can you email them to us when we have any topographic surveys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll
appreciate
get
that.
started as soon as you guys give direction, and then when we get that, we'll forward it all on out. And we'll give Frank the CAD files for the town's GIS.
Okay,
Yeah, you got it. Thank you.
welcome. Any other business? Hearing none, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Well, I'll make the motion to approve the engineering services with needs engineering not to exceed $11,250.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I'm sorry. Missed that. Motion for adjournment,
So moved.
second,
Second.
we're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here.